So, where are you located?
I'm located in San Diego, California.
Wonderful. The paradise of America.
Yes,
I
yes.
love it there.
Beautiful weather in this area.
Yeah, I love it there. Well, I'm in the middle of the country. I'm in Kansas City, Missouri. Again, it's great to meet you. Thank you for taking a minute out. I appreciate it.
No, thank you for the opportunity. It's an honor to be here in your show.
Absolutely. So, let's begin our journey into your life as an engineer and a writer by I know we're all getting a little tired of talking about COVID and the pandemic, but ultimately, how did you survive that time period and how has it changed the way that you do things now?
Yeah, absolutely. So typically, my days are split between my role leading a manufacturing operation with over 600 employees and my time with family. So during the pandemic, although our operation was on hold for a few weeks, but I had to keep constant communication from home to manage various aspects of the crisis, from corporate requirements to getting the operation back online. And for the other hand, personally, I use the extra time at home to deepen my connection with my wife and taken also on a new skills. I volunteer for a regional hospital to help them to redesign their donation campaign. And also I took some writing classes that lead me to my first book, El Despertar, that was created to raise funds for an orphanage and build a classroom with computers for the kids. So this experience of contributing and writing, it was a fresh start, and it's led me here sharing this journey with you at this moment.
So, let's get into exactly what you do on a daily basis. If I put you in front of a bunch of third grade students, it's career day, and one
Mhm.
of the kids is curious and says, "Hey, what do you do for a living?" How do you answer them?
Yeah, so let's see. So what I tell them is that I have two exciting jobs. In one, I coordinate a team that make things to keep the world running so people can live their daily adventures. And in the other hand, I'm a storyteller who creates stories to help people to understand the thoughts and feelings that they experience during those daily adventures. So whether I'm working at the factory or writing, my goal is to create things that help and inspire others.
So, what did you want to be in the third grade? What was your dream?
Third grade. So let's see. Uh, so when I was a kid, I had interest in two different areas. Uh, from one side, my math skills always stand out, and also the family stories, that, especially those about my grandfather, who was an inventor, inspired me to dream to be an engineer. But on the other hand, also I wanted to be a public speaker. Although I was too introverted to actually go to the speech group, I grew up between those two dreams, which ultimately led me to find a balance where engineering and storytelling came together.
So, where were you born and raised?
Excuse me?
Where were you born and raised?
Oh, I born and raised in Mexico.
Okay, excellent.
Mhm.
So, talk to me a little bit about heroes or inspirations who's been very instrumental in you becoming who you are.
Okay, yeah, thank you for that question. So, I feel very lucky to grow up surrounded by amazing people with incredible superpowers who inspire me. So, as I was mentioned as a kid, the stories about my grandfather, the inventor, taught me the value of creativity and problem solving. My dad also inspired me with his skills for entrepreneurship and adaptability. And my mom, after he passed, showed incredible resilience raising her kids. And lastly, my wife and my son have taught me the power of perseverance and determination. My wife's strengths in clarity remind me the importance of convictions. And my son, who's an athlete and hard worker, showed me that nothing is impossible if you put in the effort.
So if you could meet anybody alive on the planet right now that you find inspirational, who would that be? Who would you love to meet and talk to?
Yeah, so there is a figure in the Mexican history known as La Malinche. She was an indigenous woman who went from being a slave by the conquerors to becoming the key figure in negotiation between them and the tribes at the time. So I would love to observe how she transformed in every dimension of her existence. I mean, physically, mental, emotional, and spiritual during her journey. And in fact, the second book of my series, that is going to be titled My Legacy, draws an inspiration from her soul and will be available at the end of this year.
Excellent. So what's the best advice you've ever gotten?
Yeah, so when I was between the 6, 7 years old, my parents decided to move from the center of Mexico to the northern side of Mexico. And so when we got there, it was difficult because you face a different culture, different environment, different people, and also getting in the school. I got in third grade, so where most of the people already have their friends and all that. So I was kind of the stranger there. And so for a period of times, I felt like lonely and not fitting with the rest of the kids. And so I went to my dad and I asked him, why did we move? So we were in an area where we have all our family, all our friends were there, and we came here to a place where we don't know anyone and nobody know us, and seems like we don't fit. And he took me by the shoulders and looked at me and told me, we're here because not because the circumstances of today, but for the opportunities that you will have for tomorrow. And if we stay where we were, you will have the opportunities for you and your brothers will be very limited. But we're here to pursue a purpose that is you have opportunities for your future and you can build something amazing for your family. So after that, like magic, everything changed. And at the end of the day, years after, I realized that the environment didn't change. What changed it was my internal environment.
Yeah.
And then suddenly I start to make a lot of friends and people start to invite me to play with them. And but because you know what it changed inside me with that words of my father.
So what is the motivation for you every day to get up to do this work that you do? What is it that gets you out of bed, that motivates you through the day to not only do the work, but to also evolve as a person yourself?
Yeah, so you know what I think is that human life is a balance between creating challenges and finding solutions. And my motivation is to nurture the capacity for creating, to have a creation and resilience through stories. So each story in the series that I'm writing is aims to awake the sense of the purpose in readers and remind them that we need each of us are the answers and paths that we seek. So proving this belief is what keep me engaged to do what I do.
So of all of the things that you've done in your life up to this point, what are you the proudest of?
Yeah. So let's see. Um, My pride isn't tied to a specific achievement, but I have a daily ritual that every morning I'm grateful to getting one of the waking up tickets for the day, right? Because not nobody make make it, so I'm very grateful that I have one of those tickets for the day. And also, I review my agenda where I check my physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual state. And then this habit remind me that each decision and each step that I take continues to giving me life meaning, which fills me with pride and motivates me to be a positive force in my environment.
So, as a writer, what was one of your favorite books growing up, or what's one of your favorite books right now?
Yeah, so I I have I read everything that I have in front of me, but I have a few that are I try to go back at least every other year, and one of those is The Seven Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, and then also Think and Reach Growth is another one that like me, because I think those two books are the basis of many other books that are on the market, and so I feel that those have the essentials of too many concepts.
So, let's say you have a dream tonight. You run into the version of you before you came to America, and you could give that younger version of you a piece of advice based on the life you've lived, the wisdom you've gained. What advice would you give that version of you?
Yeah, so interesting question. So I'll tell him to write every day about his thoughts, feelings, and what he learned for the day. Because over time, this reflection became like a roadmap for personal growth. And by the way, as I explore in the book, in the Simon and the Morphic Field book, I believe that the knowledge we generate creates a sort of energy that drowns on similar experiences. And so documenting what we feel and think help us to better understanding our personal evolution.
Absolutely. Well said. So, everyone out there has this idea of who they think you are: family, friends, all of the readers of your books, everyone you've worked with,
Mhm.
but you ultimately run the show. What's your perception of you? Who do you think you are?
Oh, okay. So, what I think let's. So I see myself as a blend of opposites. So I'm driven by the desire to combine elements that might seem unrelated at the first. For instance, I'm an engineer. I'm fascinated by experimentation, especially in the technological application like manufacturing. But what excites me even more is exploring how human stimuli affect behaviors and then observe those outcomes. So this and also these interesting ideas are what shaped me for the Character series and Simon and the Morphic Field, because my vision for creating this series was to fuse entertainment with personal growth, areas that might feel worlds apart, but this balance of contrast feels like an authentic expression of who I am.
So, if anyone wants to get your books, they want to reach out to you, learn more about you, any of the good business, where's the best place to go?
Yeah, so they can visit my website, gerominreyes.com, and also they can find me in all the social media, as well as the book can be found in Amazon, Barnes& and Noble, Google Books, Apple Books, Kobo, and all the major platforms.
Excellent. This has been wonderful. Thank you, sir. Thank you for your story. Thank you for your time. Keep doing the great work. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. It was a real pleasure to be
A-
here.
Absolutely.